little bit of strip action, but wasn't going to spend the $80 for a high volume where I'm spending not a lot to stay under the $500 to go just a regular volume. But because the oil pump is run off the camshaft. That's where the spinning action in the pump comes, is the back gear off the camshaft. And it's very basic. We're not putting nylon on right now because we have to get this new dipstick tube, or this new pickup tube. We need to get it in the right position and locked down before we put the pan on. So all we're going to do is tighten this down like this, and I'll put a little bit of squeeze on that with the rod. But back in the day, and this is, I hate to say this, but back in the day when we were broke and kids, what we would do is if we had one that was decently clean, we would take that base plate off of the old oil pump, put a new bottom side of the oil pump, and use that base plate over again, and just unbolt to take it off with the pickup tube already in it, because we knew it was the spacing was right for the pan. So you always use the same pan, but it was really dumb. But we never got hurt. And this is as simple as it comes. And this just basically, you're going to have to wedge it in there and give it a couple of taps with a hammer, and then I'll show you how to set this using the new pan. The tight machine fit. It's designed for you to have to force it in there and it lock itself in. So I took a little 1000 grit on the end here just to get it started. And basically all you got to do is you're just going to work it back and forth and just get you some grip. Just like this, okay? That's not where we're going to leave it. So as you saw, this is as old school as it comes. So now that it's started, I'm going to get it started just a little bit more, but we're not going to finish this here. We are going to finish this on the vise. Okay. So we're going to take this off. We're going to take it over to the vise. And we're going to finish getting it drifted in, because I don't want to do that with this. The size of the stud ended up being the same size as so whatever it is, whichever one you find, the one that fits the best and use it, because you want as tight of a grip here like this to be able to force it in the best. All right, we'll just lay that there. Pull this back off.
No, we said not to touch fresh painted parts.
That ain't freshly painted part.
No, I just put some paint on the cardboard.
Yeah, right here. Not right here. That's what I did the other day.
Semantics.
Boy, just be quiet. All right, and we want to find the spot in this where she's completely supported, but not on the machine surface. As you can hear it, that's the pump vanes in there moving around inside the pump. So I want to have this basically, we are going to do this with it. The beefiest part of the housing, right there like that. That's where we're going to go. And we're just going to use this to be able to put some pressure on that and hammer straight down into a solid surface. And then we're just going to do this. And then we'll trade sides, because that's actually starting to press itself onto that little deal. Make sure that you're solid in there, in between the vise and not anything that's important.
All right, Didio, what did we just do?
All right, now we took the existing rod that was in it, and this comes in the kit. Oop, and I just dropped it. It's basically a nylon sleeve, and it's unisex. It goes either way, and you just slide it in, and then this slides into the groove like this and clicks into place. And that's what drives your, like I said, the distributor gear is driven by the cam, and then if you look in the bottom of the distributor, there's a little groove with a little rod through it, and that's what clicks in here, and that's what drives your oil pump and pulls oil from here, presses it through here and through the system, and then it deposits it back through the oil pan, picks up by the tube, and it's just a rotation. And then this slips.
Wow, that's a lot of blue.
Yep, that's a lot of blue. Oh yeah, and I messed up, got the wrong gasket set. I got the gasket for the 78, but this is an 80 to 84 block, and it has the passenger side dipstick. So of course, I had the wrong pan gasket, so we went down to where? O'Reilly's. And then this just slides in, the oil pump just slides in that slot right there. All right, and you just put it back in place. And then we're going to torque this. I'll throw a little bit of lube on top of this bolt, and we'll torque this in place. And then we're ready to put the pan on. Okay, so what we ended up having to do, we did this method with this, but it was a two-man job, and I used the small hammer to place here and smack it with the larger hammer to drift it down. It took about what, 10 hits?
Like 10 seconds?
Yeah, but 10 hits. We got to get the spacing of this right. And the easiest way to do that is we mark it up a little bit higher than what you think it's going to be, which normally they're pretty flat. So we're just a little bit above what normal is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and actually that's not even good enough. So we're going to have to raise this up a little bit to get this right. So it will move, not a lot, but it will move. You don't have to move it a lot. What we're trying to do is contact this lip with this pan, and then we'll find a surface and we'll move it about 1/4 of an inch. And that's all there is to it. All right, so we're gonna keep doing this until it sits. See, there we go. We're above the pan. See how the pan's sitting? All right, so then we're just gonna take the pan. Okay, so. All right, so that is, without any gaskets, metal against metal, the spacing for this pan. All right, and we take this back off, and that's where we need to be. Now, gaskets are going to pinch, so you can't really rely on that being enough space underneath that pan surface for this to pick up oil. So basically, what we did back in the day was 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Never hurt us. We never starved an engine for oil. Never had, on acceleration, oil pressure issues with it not picking up oil, because actually this brand new pan has got a pretty good little sump in it. This is sealed, so there's not a lot of the drainage is coming right back in, right into the pan. So on acceleration for a street engine, which is going to give a little give, it isn't pulling 6 G's like a dragster. This should be just fine for picking up oil, but we need to move this down a little bit. So, okay, now all we're going to do is we're going to measure from a surface that's stable, and the easiest way to do that is right here off of this bolt head. So, take my glasses off so I can see good and straight. And we're just going to tap this down. Right now we're sitting. I can decide this got to. Okay, and we're just going to move it 1/4 of. We'll go 3/16. Right about right there. That's all I got to do. That's it. I split the difference. I did 3/16 of an inch between an 1/8 and 1/4. And that should be, once you put the gaskets on and the end gaskets on and seal everything up, that should be good spacing for good oil pickup for that pump off of this pan. And that's how you do that. That's all there is to it.